Oh my god! Wait, I did not. I will not do that again. I would not. Oh my god! No, 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 no! I wet everything. Help! Wait, I gotta go. I gotta go.
Hey, you're watching ErnieTV. Sit down with me and let's have a kiki. Vibing on the MIC in the place to be. You're watching ErnieTV.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Wait. This is why I make it a point to say them because I always forget them in order. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome to Ernie TV. So this is harder than it looks actually. I cannot tell you how many times I've recorded this intro because for me, for some reason it was like for my brain the hardest thing to like produce. Like my last two brain cells were sat here on take 58,000, just like, hey, hello, good morning, hi, good morning. So, hey, hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Here it is, the very first episode. Now that's out of the way, welcome. By the way, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. I am so happy you're here. All right, next. So I recorded a whole opening sequence. So one of my takes, I had a whole opening sequence, and I ordered bubbly to celebrate the momentous occasion. I'm not a drinker per se. I do drink responsibly, and I do have my favorite alcoholic beverages. So call me. But no. So I did the whole thing, and I popped bottles. I popped, and then I went to go watch the footage. Thank God I didn't like do the whole video. Woo! Okay, well I just gave it away. The volume was off. The mic was off. So the bottle's been popped, and it's a cork bottle. So I was like, damn it! I was like, I popped the bottle, and it was cute. I liked it. It was it was natural. In the moment. Never gonna be able to recreate it. So I'm gonna try to recreate it. Cheers to the very first episode of Ernie TV, um, and this adventure that I have set for myself, and that I am excited to begin and have you all come on this journey with me and support, like, comment, and subscribe to things. So cheers to that. But really, cheers to me. I mean, I mean, it's me. Lights, set, sound, talent. It's me. So cheers to me and you, and you too. Okay, cheers to me. Cheers to Ernie TV in the place to be. Cheers. So I would just like to say to you and to everyone here, gracias para llevar en la casa. En azul marcadas en el cielo en conos vivir en los foxtrots. Okay, what is it? I gotta find. I want to recreate it did a little like fizzy and the bubbles came out. Like you see in the music videos back in 2000s. You know, on the boat, rocking, popping bottles of champagne. So I'm gonna try to recreate. Oh well, fuck it. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my god. Wait, I did not. I will not do that again. I would not. Oh my god. No, 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 no. I wet everything. Help! Wait, I gotta go. I gotta go. Everything is wet. Yo, I'm not gonna hold you. That was crazy. Oh my god, my screen is it's like the monitor is wet. Everything is wet. I gotta go. Hold on. Give me one. Girl, there might not be no Ernie TV. Ernie TV might be canceled. Damn, and everything is touchscreen. So the water is acting like it's me. Oh no, don't release the nudes. All right. Okay, so what better way to start the show? Welcome to Ernie TV. Period. I would never do that again. That was that was fun. That was actually very fun. And I did it twice. I might do it again actually. I might do that again. Not now, not anytime soon. So it got all up in the light. Like, thank God I have the diffuser box on. Because it sprayed even more than it did when I first popped it, which is wild. But anyway, so a little about me. My name is actually Ernest Turo Williams, and I also go by Ernie Canvas. And where I get the name Ernie Canvas from, people started calling me Ernie in high school, and Canvas comes from Lady Gaga's 2013 VMA performance that she did of Applause. I was just really taken aback by the symbolism of a canvas. For me, a canvas is like, it can always be it can always be something else. It could always be recreated. It could always start again. It represents just being anything. Like, you can really be anything in this world and in this life that you want to be. And I kind of just like have kept it since 2013. Like, I've just been Ernie Canvas. Some people call me Ernie, some people call me Ernest, some people call me Ern. In my family, we have, my own little nickname. I'm from the Boogie Down Bronx, New York. Um, I also would spend some time in Harlem with my family there, and I would also spend some summers in Philadelphia with my sister, who used to live there. And then at one point, my other sister lived there. So, but the Bronx, the Boogie Down Bronx, New York. As a kid, I I think that, like, the seedling, I think the seedling grew into a tree. I'm pretty much the same as I was as a kid. Just I think I'm no, I think I was always this funny. I was always this funny. I've always been funny. I remember in school I was always so talkative. I remember getting we would get report cards, and I would always get works quietly section. They would put S, no, U for unsatisfactory, and they would always check needs improvement, because I don't know, I was at school to talk to my friends. So I was always talking. There was always something to talk about. We had to talk about either, like, That's So Raven, or I had a very niche group of talking about Dave the Barbarian, because I loved Dave the Barbarian, Brandy and Mr. Whiskers, Hannah Montana, Lizzie McGuire. Like, there was always things to talk about at school or wherever I was. I didn't start making jokes and, like, cracking jokes. I guess I was always funny. I don't know, like, naturally funny, but I wasn't like, there comes a point where, like, you're funny. That wasn't until middle school, like 8th grade. I realized I was like, oh, I was like, I'm funny, and I can make people laugh, and I was like, I can move people with my presence and my fun and my words and the way that I speak. And so I was always cracking jokes in the back of the bus, with the girls, with the girls, um, in middle school, and we would just always kiki. We would talk about Hannah Montana. We would, like, flame each other. We would talk about, like, the three ways, the phone call, three ways. We would talk about that, like, you know the night before. We were oh my god, baby, are you down, 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 down? If the sky is falling down. Wait, am I gonna get blocked for singing that? Hey, just thought to know. And then, in high school, I was even better. It was even better. I knew what I was meant to do by high school. I was like, I'm about to make y'all niggas laugh. Like, this key. And the thing about in high school, so I went to a Christian school up until high school. Like, Christian, like, fresh, off the boat Africans, Jamaican, Caribbeans, fresh off the boat, like dead ass, so serious. Um, and then I went to a Catholic high school um, in high school, and so I was also gay, right? So gay. Let's get into that. I'm also gay, by the way. Also verse bottom. But so I'm in Catholic school, and I just know that I'm funny at this point. Uh I'm also gay, right? That's what I was getting at. I'm also gay in Catholic school, and I don't come out the closet until the end of sophomore year. Yeah, the end of sophomore year. I had the famous meme of like girls asking me if I was gay, like always. I know it happened like twice. It happened like twice. One of the Tiffany's asked me. I'm not gonna say which one, but it was one of the Tiffany's. She asked me. Um, yeah. Hey Tiff, if you're watching, you're probably not. She's probably not. Um, we didn't keep in touch after high school. I didn't keep in touch with a lot of people after high school. I haven't kept in touch with a lot of people in general because there are so many people. And listen, if you're watching this and I know you and we know each other, I will always have love and respect for you. Like if we have laughed together and we've kikied, don't ever think that like because we have lost touch that there's no friendship. No, I'm the kind of person that like I saw this on Tumblr one time, and I'm showing my age. I saw this on Tumblr one time when I was younger. It was like there are type A and type B friendships. The type A who you talk to all the time, you keep in contact with all the time, one, two. Um, and there's type B, the ones you don't really contact that much. You don't get to see that often, but anytime you see them, it's always a key. So I can do both. I really can do both. And a lot of times I've resorted to type B because there's a lot of people in this world and I've met a lot of people and I know a lot of people personally and a lot of people know me personally. So it's like I I don't expect everyone to be reaching out because it's the same thing for everyone. We all have people that we have to like well, I don't want to say have to, but we all have people that a lot of people that we know that we don't have the capacity to keep up with. Instagram shows me 20 notifications on my thing. If that's 20 people messaging me, that's 20 conversations. And if I'm responding to them, depending on how they're responding, I could be just responding all day. You have to consider that like it's no tea no shade if we don't talk. Unless we were beefing, unless we were like we had a falling out or like you don't like me, then sure. But like other than that, like it's all love. I got love for all of y'all. What was I talking about? Oh. So yeah, back to the main point. Um, High school, I was gay, closeted until end of sophomore year. Um, and then I came out. I came out randomly. We were playing. I think we were playing Never Have I Ever. Never Have I Ever in free period, seventh period, and um, one of the straight guys was like, they made a euphemism about snakes in the grass. And I think I said something like, oh, I wouldn't mind. And then they were like, so you wouldn't mind if there's snakes in your grass? And I was like, no. And the euphemism was dicks. It was about dicks. It was about dicks. And I was basically saying I wouldn't mind about dicks. Um, just in a Catholic school, free period amongst straight people, just 2000 and what? 11? Because that's when Born This Way came out. Um, yeah, and so he was like, "Oh, so that means you like boys?" And I think I know I said yes, but I think I said I was bi. I think I said yeah. I think I said and girls, but I know I confirmed. I know I confirmed the question, and I think I added girls because when I came back junior junior year, I was like I was bi, and that lasted for literally 3 days. 3 days, because then I was like, because a lot of times the queer experience or the gay man experience or the lesbian experience, you come out as the thing or you come out as the sub thing. So like I came out as the thing that would like be perceived less harshly in my mind. I was like, okay, well if I come out as bi, then maybe I can do the. But I was like, I quickly realized I was like, oh wait, I don't have to do that. I don't have to. I've always been outspoken. I've always been a rebel, and I've always just been me from a young kid. Um, and that's what my mom, raised me to do, and like my dad and everything. Um, so I quickly was just like, I'm not bi, I'm gay. But the way I handled it, I quickly became popular. I became popular as the gay kid, because there were other gay kids who ended up transferring in, but they didn't really get well. Now I'm just retelling events, so I don't want no DMs. We're not gonna do this. But they transferred in, and like, no one, the kids didn't really like them. You know, some kids, they were, listen. That's, I'm not gonna get into it. But so and I understand, like, sure, there was maybe some tokenism, the token gay. Um, Maybe I did encompass that. I was a kid. I didn't choose to. I remember one time at the lockers, right after homeroom, we go out and we go out to our lockers to get our things or whatever, or was it? I don't know. I think it was lunch. I don't know. We were at our lockers, me and one of the kids from my homeroom, because it went by last names, and so our lockers were like right next to each other because we have the same last name, mind you. And so he comes out, and I don't know what's going on, but we get to a conversation, and he says something like jokingly homophobic, and I wasn't even at the age of like 15. I wasn't even thinking on this, the mindset of like, watch out for these niggas. Don't let these niggas play with you. I'm like that now, but I wasn't even thinking of like, oh, that was shady. I was just like, okay. I remember saying to him, I was like, well, I think being homophobic is weird, because that should mean more girls for you. Because if it's me or you, that was the first time I experienced the power of like faggotry, and how it can change someone's mind that quickly. I didn't become as radicalized as I am today, as the black gay man I am. I wasn't like that I wasn't radicalized about my queerness about, when I was 15. I was just coming out the closet. Born This Way had just dropped. I wasn't aware of like direct homophobia, because I didn't see it. Like, I didn't see it in middle school. I mean, people made fun of like kids for like being gay, but I don't think it really. I know I didn't get made fun of for being gay. Like, at any point, like, people suspected me. Um, so I don't necessarily think I didn't think homophobia didn't exist, but I knew I wasn't going to be dealing with it. Um, I always knew that for some reason. Somehow I always knew I wasn't in my way. Was just being me, and there was a level. There was like a level of like, you know sure, like, comedy, but I also had that like, don't mess with me. Like, I am crazy. You could tell that I was crazy. Like, or like, you could tell that I was unhinged. You could tell that I was unhinged in high school. So it was also like, do you really want to gay bash me? Like, save that for the other kids. Like, save it for no one. But like, if it's gonna, save it for the other kids, save it for the transfers, because it's not gonna be me here. And that quickly made people like me, but it was also because I was funny. I had turned that school on its head. Like, I remember twerking at pep rallies in an inflatable Stay Puffed costume. We had Halloween dress down, and every year I would go as an inflatable. One year I went as a cowboy. The next year I went as a Stay Puffed man from the Ghostbusters, and I was really showing the Catholic school. I was being the Lady Gaga of the Catholic school. I was the first male cheerleader, and I walked out there proud, proud, because for me it was just like, oh, I never saw it as like, oh, I like the attention. It was, actually, I think that was probably like my first experience with like anxiety. Before I would go to school with the costumes, because I was like, okay, you're making a spectacle of yourself wearing these costumes. But you have to understand, like, this was at the time that Lady Gaga was like she was coming, she was Lady Gaga. She was making her stamp in the world and her mark. And I was also coming of age during this time. And that's why, like, for me, Lady Gaga is like my only idol. But so yeah, I remember twerking. I remember being the first male cheerleader. I remember when I got my first boyfriend. Um, it was this freshman when I was a junior, and I remember there's this famous photo that has followed us since then. It does its rounds every so often on the internet. It recently just did its rounds for a Beyonce thing, a Beyonce meme. Um, but I was like holding his hand in the religion hallway because our hallways were separated into like religion hallway, math hallway, second floor, English hallway, whatever hallway, and I would like purposefully go down the religion hallway holding his hand, you know, just a simple peck, tap, kiss, nothing too crazy. And I remember having a standoff with a couple religion teachers. One time it was my religion teacher when we got to the topic of homosexuality and why it was wrong. I remember stopping the class and I remember just like going back and forth with her. And it wasn't like, oh, stupid teacher, loser, bum. I was always smart and I was always aware that like homosexuality wasn't this thing that like religion sometimes tends to make it to be. So I was just like, so just because we can't have kids, that means that is it only about making kids? Is it only about marriage? But so this is me in high school, and I the throughout the 4 years, people loved me, because I also started doing the play and things, and I was the inspiration for some of these kids now, for some of these kids now, and some of my peers. I've had peers come out the closet and tell me, "Hey, Ernie, you inspired me in high school because I saw you being so radically yourself. Like you were in the school play, you did track, you were the first male cheerleader, you still hold the record for the freshman mile in 2025, by the way." I was developing this energy and passion for people, essentially, and for making people uh, feel feel good about themselves. Um, and then my dad died when I was 16. I remember I came out the closet, and then my dad died. I was like, oh, okay. God gives his toughest. Okay, all right. But no, yeah, my dad died. Rest in peace, Dad. Love you, Ernest Edgar Williams. Um, But so yeah, my dad died, and I think I remember walking to school. My mom told me, bless her, love her. She's still with us. She told me I was like brushing my teeth, and she came in the bathroom. She was like, "Your dad died." She didn't want to tell me at first, but she ended up telling me, and then I froze. I went into paralysis, and I just like autopiloted. I closed the bathroom door in her face. I got ready for school. Sorry for closing the door in your face, mom. Um, and then I got ready and I left. I went to school, and I one of my best friends will tell you this. She tells it like it was yesterday, because it was real. I walked into homeroom or whatever class we were in. She said that I looked like death, and I did, and I did because I was so in shock. I was like dead. People in my family had died before, but my dad. I remember like going through like half of the day just like this, literally did not move. Anyone who saw me, and anyone who can retell this story, they will tell you I looked pale, I looked like death. I was just like, and then my mom, she came and got me out of school. We went to go view the body, and then yeah. And so yeah, so my dad died, and so I became funnier. This is where my comedy took a turn for the funnier. I'm just trying to say this long arc, all to say my humor got funnier because of trauma. Got to college. I went to school in Long Island, and I wasn't. It was a difference. This was like my first like real brush with white people, and this was my first brush with like I experienced in high school people loving me because I was such a light, and I experienced in college the opposite. Generally, because everyone wasn't like this, but generally, if I'm weighing it, if I'm going from high school to college, which I did, um, it was the opposite. That also has to do with, because white people be jealous, but also, you have a concentrated focus for school, and mine was musical theater and dance. So competitiveness came into the play a lot. Um, and that was my first brush with a lot of that. So there wasn't a lot of time for humor. There wasn't a lot of time for me to really hone in my humor. The place where I really could have honed in on my humor, I was like, well, I'm gonna have to do a whole college episode because I'm hesitant because I have to do a whole college episode because I'm not gonna be able to divulge in this amount of time in what this video was about college, because college, coming soon. That was like my journey, and then I graduated college, and then I booked a little tour. I booked a little Broadway tour, national international cruise ship, Hollywood Bowl, in Stage 42. If you know, you know. I'm not sure if I can say the name, but it's about drag queens and boots. It's not the one in the desert, and the color is red. Listen. We're not gonna get into the color red boots this episode because I just to spoiler alert, I did 6 productions over 6 years globally, so it would be unjust to just talk about it quickly here. But I did develop a lot of my comedic skill there because I came out of college with the tools that I learned there, because you can't hold talent down. So I was booked right out of college, by the way. Where are the golden children? Oh, but what I will say is I was able to develop my comedic chops on tour, especially because I was put into a featured role where I had my own song, and um, there was room for comedic element and growth. And so, you can imagine doing it night after night in different cities, different countries, different, waters, really, because yeah, um, you can understand how you start to grow if you really have it and you want it. And I wanted it and I had it. So yeah. Also, I I love gaming. I love playing Fortnite. Fortnite I play every day. I haven't played it in a couple days because filming and editing this, but I love Fortnite. I grew up with The Sims. Let me hear it for The Sims busting out. The Sims busting out. The Sims busting out. That is the very no. Well, I was gonna say that's the very first game I remember playing. The very first game I remember playing. It was on the Sega Genesis. Was it Crash Bandicoot? Or was it Rayman? Was it Rayman? I think it was Rayman. I think it was Rayman. Whoa, memory unlocked. I think it was Rayman. I think that's what it's called. Oh my god. Oh. Nostalgia. So I remember playing Rayman and Pac-Man, Bomberman, Spyro, the dragon, Zelda, anything Smash, Mario, anything. Um, hmm. World War Z is a really, really good, fun zombie game. I love playing zombie mode, Horde. Yeah, DS. These are not things I play now. The DS, I don't even know where my DS is. Uh, I recently found my PS5, but PSP. But I do have a PS5, an Xbox One. I have an Xbox. I have a GameCube. I have a PS2, PS3, um, Wii. My mom, she's like to this day, she's always been. I don't think I have the Xbox. I don't have one of the Xboxes, the one of the recent ones. But I have every game in console that from Sega Genesis, from the Genesis, the Dreamcast, through like the Game Boys, the SPs, the PSPs, the DSs, the Switch, the things, the things. I have all of those things. I do, and they still work, and I still have the games for them because, I mean, my brother may have sold them or given them away. Some things growing up, he lowered them down, and anyway, I love cats. I love cats. I have one cat, but I have 2 cats really. One cat is mine. His name is Ravi. He's a little sweetheart. He's currently with family. And I say I have two cats because for a period of time, for like 2, 3 years, my family's cat, before I got Ravi, I moved in with family during 2020 for the pandemic because I was working with the Red Boots show, and then I halted because pandemic, so I was back home. And we have a family cat. Her name is Mrs. Cuddlecakes, and my sister named her that. And then I got Ravi, and then I moved out. But the problem was I had moved out. I had gotten Ravi while I was still living with family, so he bonded with the other cat, and they're like a pair. So when I moved out, my mom was like, "Take the other cat because she's a female. I want them to have children or cats, kittens anyway, because they're not neutered." They didn't. They haven't had kids. I don't know what's going on. I'm low key a hermit as well. Like I definitely hibernate during the winter. I think everyone should hibernate during the winter, like animals. But I love to enjoy my space. I live alone, um, in a spacious apartment that I am thankful for. I trade stocks. I wake up some days, and I have my own schedule because I don't work for anyone. Um, I've been doing this for the last almost 3 years now. Almost three, I want to say. Well, it will be 3 years in November, because I was performing like consistently from 2017 up until 2022, sans 2020 and 2021. So I trade stocks. Um, I love to cook. I My favorite thing to cook right now is pizza. I love to make my own pizza. My favorite food is seafood and fried chicken. I don't drink a lot of soda these days, but I do love orange soda. I love every now and then I love orange soda or like pineapple soda. Love, 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 love. And you know the brand. I also used to run track. Shout out to the Zodiacs. Oh my goodness. My family has such a deep rooted history with the Zodiac. And I also ran track in high school. And my events, okay, so I'm gonna tell you the events I liked and the events that I was given. My events that I liked to do, I liked to do the long jump. I liked to do the 110-meter hurdles. I liked to do the 2 and the 1. They, my coaches, would put me in cross country, in the 400-meter, in the 600-meter, in the 800-meter, in the 1500. All long events, all distance events. And I've got asthma. And especially when I was younger, it was very active. So, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I did grow to like the long distance because we were doing like the 2.5 miles in what is it, Seton Falls Park? Is that what it's called? With the tortoise and the hare. I forget what it's called, but it's there near Van Cortlandt. Van Cortlandt Park. Van Cortlandt Park. Oh my God, we would always be by the tortoise and the hare, and we'd run into the woods, up the woods, out. That was pretty fierce. I will be turning 30 this year. This year. This year. My favorite color is green, and it's always been green for as long as I can remember. Generally, any shade. I guess I'm more partial to like maybe somewhere in the middle, like not too bright, not too dark. Um, Mint green is one of my go-tos in terms of like um, when I'm using color. Um, but yeah, I like green. Lady Gaga. So me and Lady Gaga's history. I was thinking, and I might do a video on Lady Gaga, but anyway, the lowdown on Lady Gaga and I discovered Lady Gaga at the 2009 VMAs. And I remember the first time I saw her on the red carpet, she was wearing whatever she was wearing. And I remember saying to myself, or like I think I tweeted or something, I was like, who is that? Like, what is she wearing? Like, I was like trying to like be shady. And then she did the infamous performance, the infamous paparazzi. Whoo, I still get chills when I watch that video. Like, and it was the moment where the blood came out. I remember, it was like, I was a little monster. Like, I remember feeling so questionable about existence and like what I saw on the red carpet and what I judged into now who became my mother. I was like, this this must be how homophobes feel when they like change their mind about homophobia and things. Um, but no, so I fell in love with her from the paparazzi, thank you, moment. I fell in love with her there. And then came Bad Romance. Um, Bad Romance, I remember I felt, what is it called? Like, hypnotized. I felt like controlled. Huh, I don't know what the word I'm thinking of, but I was like in a trance. Like that song had me in a trance. Like I was, anytime I heard it, I was just like very like, that's where I definitely started to like become. I was what, 14? Yeah. So fast forward to Born This Way. She releases Born This Way in 2011, and I am just, this is my gay awakening. There's the gay awakening when you're like a child and you don't even know that you're gay, like, which for me was the men on the underwear, the brief underwear in the stores when we would go shopping. So that was my gay awakening, and then it was also like Tony from Out of the Box, and also um, a couple of Disney Channel characters. But so Lady Gaga, she releases Born This Way, and the Born This Way song itself, of course, I love it. I'm like 15. Like, you have to think about this. 15, growing up, like, if any of you have been 15 and are not currently 15, you know, like, how formative those years are in high school, like, especially if you are queer. And so there was this one song, Hair, for those of you who don't know, and you should. Um, the song Hair, it's about being herself and, just being herself at the end of the day. And I don't really talk about that song because, like, it's really personal to me. It's a personal song to me. Like, I'm like, oh, she wrote that, like, for me and to me. Music, I like um I like all kinds of music, honestly. I do have a soft spot for Berlin techno. I will get to that in the Berlin video, but I love Berlin techno. I love rap. I love pop. I love country. I love rock. Did I say rock? I think I said rock. I do like all kinds of music. I don't think I'm really into screamo. Well, I can't get into screamo too much because I like to listen to my music loud. So we don't have too much screamo going on my playlists. But I love R&B. I love soul. I love sad music. I think that sad music is sonically and, like, musically, the most beautifully uh, constructed and crafted pieces of work. I just love, like, the melodies, the tempo, the everything. Everything about a sad song is really, because, I don't know what it is about sad songs, what they're doing, why they're doing it, but why what they're doing, I like that they're doing it. My favorite artists: Lady Gaga, of course, Beyonce, Nicki Minaj. Hmm, yeah, those are my big three. Those are my big three. I also love newer artists like Tyla, Chloe and Halle, um, Madison Beer, Ava Max. Oh my goodness, how could I almost forget? Chapel Roan, Charlie XCX. But yeah, I like a lot of music. If I like the sound, if I like the song, love it. And I enjoy sharing music with other people. Like I often will send people tracks that I really like and I think that they will like. I love sharing music and I love connecting with music. I love, like, having people over, like, and like I'll have my friends over and, like, we'll be chilling and I will just go down a whole rabbit hole of, like, why Nicki Minaj is the greatest rapper. Notice I didn't say female. Right. Um I've introduced people to Peter Fox. And you should definitely check out Peter Fox. He has this one song called Alice Noy. And a lot of my music on my SoundCloud is, like, not in English. English being my first language. Um, and successfully my only one. And not even that successful. But a lot of the music that I have on my SoundCloud is different languages. Because I also feel like music, we can connect with music without knowing what it's saying. I mean, if you know the song is saying something, like, crazy and bad, maybe not, but you know, but music is it transcends language. Like my favorite Peter Fox song, actually, I don't know what he's saying. I looked it up one time just to make sure, but I don't know what he's saying. Um, and before I looked it up, I didn't know what he was saying, and he could have been saying anything. He could have been saying anything, and I'm glad that he wasn't saying anything, and he was saying what he was saying that aligned with my views. Growing up gay, so I knew I was gay when I was 6. I didn't know what gay was, but once I came to knowing what being gay was, I knew I was gay. I was able to look back and notice, and I say I was 6 because here I don't know how much of this I can share. So I lived with my parents and my 3 cousins, 2 of which were adopted. So like they're my brother and sister. But their brother, my cousin, if you're still with me, he was older. I think he was like in his he was in his teens, or I don't know how old he was, but I know he was older, and it was of age. So one day, me and my brother, we were going to watch. It was Barney. It was Barney. We wanted to watch Barney because it wasn't the Rugrats. Because I remember the Rugrats in Paris. They had the orange cassette tape or VCR tape, whatever it's called. Um, and so we weren't watching that. We were watching Barney and Friends because it was called Barney and Friends. It was the black tape, and it had the print on it in white and small. Barney and Friends. Don't forget the and Friends. So um, we put in the tape, but we're not reading. I don't think. I'm not sure if I know. I mean, I know I didn't read. We were like, I was like maybe 4. He was like 6. We went to the back room, which is where generally the older cousin brother stayed. But we were always going there to like play and have fun and chill, whatever, as kids, as babies. The VCR was on top, and so we had to like climb up to put the tape in the VCR. Or I think we just pressed play. No, I think yeah, we just pressed play. We pressed play, and what we saw, chat, it was an adult video. We had discovered porn for the first time. Me at 4, him at 6. I'll never forget the scene. It was a man and woman, and the guy was wearing like the thick mustache was in, and they had like the hair, and he had a blue shirt on, and his fly was okay. I don't think I can explain this. I don't think I should explain this. My mom came in and at some point, and she saw it and she turned it off, and she told us that was like, she was like, no, or something. We knew that was now wrong because we didn't know what it was. We were just like, it was really just like, it was the most like I guess that was the first time I lost my innocence. And then fast forward to I'm 6 years old. I'm 6 years old. I'm in first grade in the Christian school from with the people fresh off the boat from Africa, Jamaica, Caribbean, all the places. I have this one best friend, and we're I don't know what we used to do as friends, but like I don't know how we became best friends. I don't really remember like a lot of the interactions that I had when I was a baby. I just remember like certain like points and like standout things. And what stands out is that we were best friends. I remember one time we were doing lineup because we used to do line leader, and I think I was in I was in front of the line. I was in front of the line. Yes, and he was right behind me. And so we were gonna go outside. We were going outside. We were going outside for recess, and I was so excited. I was so excited, and I turned around. I saw my best friend behind me, and I was so excited that we're going outside. And I reached and I grabbed his. I reached out and grabbed this boy's genitalia, not knowing what it meant. Not know, and it wasn't, and at that moment, I didn't know that was something I shouldn't do. I obviously didn't know that was something I should not have done because I didn't have like from the moment at 4, there was no like I wasn't suddenly in sex education. Like my mom wasn't putting me in sex ed in sexual health class, and teaching me the ins and outs of the birds and the bees. I guess I took excitement from that moment at 4 years old, and I was like, this is what you do when you really like someone and you're really excited. You touch their genitalia. I learned in that moment because he jumped back and was like, "What are you doing?" Rightfully so. Um, I realized I was like, "Oh," I was like, "That's wrong." I wasn't thinking. I didn't know what horniness was. I didn't know what sexual attraction was, and I wasn't sexually attracted to him. Like I didn't know what that was. I can't even like go back and think. Like I didn't know what that was. But all I knew was that I liked him. I wasn't like, oh, I like him. Oh, as like I didn't want to like. Let's say I had all the tools to know. I didn't want to date him. I didn't want to have sex with him. Um, I just was excited, and all I knew, because I don't know. I guess that was the first instance I had a best friend. He was my first best friend. Yeah, that was my first best friend, and I guess that was, I don't know. I was just like brotherly love. Oh God, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on. That's when I knew I was gay. I didn't know then. Again, I didn't know at 6. I probably knew at like 11 in middle school. I definitely knew it at 11 in middle school. It did pop up every now and then. Um, you know, what is now my fully recognized gayness. It did pop up every now and then, but it was never the focus. My mom wasn't like drilling into me like, no, that's wrong. Gayness is wrong. Here, read this text about being gay. I wasn't paying attention to the Bible or church, um, but it wasn't always a fun time. Um, you know, there was moments that I was like really questioning, like, how am I gonna live my life? Like I remember like praying every night. I would say at the end of my prayers, like, God bless me, my mommy, daddy, my cousins, my brothers, my sisters, everybody, and please take the gay away from me. Amen. Every night, every night, every night. Like up until I came out, or like I like met Lady Gaga, really. But so it wasn't always the most fun. And then I came out at 15, and you know, me and my mom, we didn't see eye to eye with on it for a bit, but we had one really important conversation. And at the end of that conversation, and after that conversation, my mom she has done a complete 180. I wouldn't even think like the mom that I have today in regards to like me being gay. I wouldn't have seen it for myself. Like I promise you, like, because my mom, she raised me Christian, and she's a devout believer in the things, but she has. I am so proud of my mom, and mom, if you are watching this, I know you're watching this because I called you and said, Mom, you cannot miss my very first episode. Um, I love you, and thank you for loving me, and for trusting yourself and letting go of some beliefs that you had growing up in the era and decade that you grew up in, and the things that you were taught and things you had to unlearn, and I'm so proud of you for unlearning those things. um, and I couldn't ask for a better mother, honestly. So thank you, and you continuously show everyone and parents around you how to accept and love your children no matter what they are, because you know more than anyone, um, your children are your children. And my mom, she has come to just about everywhere she could possibly come to when it came to that show, with the red boots about the drag queens. She's been there, and I'm really lucky. Like I'm really lucky to have the mom that I have. Like this show couldn't even be possible because my mom, she's always going to be the backbone, and she's always been the backbone and always will be my backbone of everything that I do. And the hugest driving force of why I do everything that I do. Um, because before Lady Gaga, my mother is mother. And look, I understand that, like, I am very fortunate and very lucky to have the coming out experience and journey that I have had, and I'm very thankful for it. I part of my bloodline is in Jamaica, comes from Jamaica, And I know it's not the same um, as I'm benefiting from here in my life, just in America, and I know that even in America as well, it's not the same for everyone, and a lot of times parents discard and even murder their kids because of their sexuality. It doesn't align with what they see for them. And to any parent out there watching this, just love your kids, because your kids that's you, that you don't hate something that came out of you. Like, if you want to listen, I'll go as far to say, if you want to hate anything else, don't hate something that came out of you, because that is a direct link to you. That's you, by the way. You just recreated, like, that's you part two. So don't hate yourself. Let's just say I really love being gay. Like, I love being gay. It's very expensive. It's really expensive. Listen, and we're not gonna get into the whole of why it's expensive. I really want to make sure I encompass everything about me, who I am, but I also am holding space for um, knowing that you will get to know me as we go on. So I don't have to sit here and, give you a 10-hour video or a 24-hour video on who I am. But I do invite you to continue to watch. I invite you to comment, to like, to subscribe, to share your thoughts, to share your opinions. Listen, you don't always have to have the same opinion as me, and vice versa. I love, like, discussion. I love connecting and talking with people. So again, I invite you to getting to know me. And that's me, Ernie, the one with the TV. Okay, just kidding. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in to the very first episode. Happy Valentine's Day if you celebrate, or happy Singles Day if you celebrate, or happy Friday if you celebrate, or happy Drag Race Friday if you okay. All right. I'm signing out. Wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. TTYL.
Hey, you're watching